Should parents move in with their children as they grow older, or should they chase after their dreams and happiness? That's a question many of us wrestle with, especially as we reach those later years in life. Today, we want to introduce you to Mary, a 65-year-old mother who made a decision that left her family stunned and countless others inspired. Mary's story isn't just about the challenges of retirement. It's a journey of resilience, courage, and the unyielding pursuit of a life filled with joy. So let's dive into Mary's journey, one that resonates deeply with many who find themselves at a similar crossroads. Mary spent her life raising 2 children, her son and daughter, with love, sacrifice, and a heart full of hope. Her husband had passed away over a decade ago, leaving her to navigate life on her own. She embraced that independence, though it wasn't always easy. By the time she turned 63, she had settled into a quiet routine in her small hometown, where every corner held memories of the life she had built with her late husband. But when retirement came knocking, things took an unexpected turn. Mary's son, a loving but practical man, grew worried about his mother living alone. "Mom, why don't you move in with us? It'll be better than living by yourself," he urged, his concern evident in his eyes. At first, Mary hesitated. She loved her cozy little house with its quaint garden and quiet mornings. But she also loved her son and wanted to support him. She thought to herself, maybe he's right. Maybe this is the best thing for everyone. And so, after some consideration, Mary packed up her belongings, leaving behind her peaceful sanctuary to start a new chapter in her son's home. Initially, it was comforting. Her daughter-in-law, Anna, welcomed Mary with open arms, always greeting her warmly when she came into the kitchen in the mornings. "You don't have to do much around here," Anna would say with a cheerful smile. "Go out, take walks, or chat with the other women in the neighborhood." Mary felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps this would be a chance to build new connections and create happy memories with her son's family. For a few months, things were smooth. Mary enjoyed morning walks in the neighborhood, sometimes stopping to chat with other older women who were out tending to their gardens or just soaking up the sun. She even started visiting a nearby park where a group of elderly women gathered to dance and share stories, feeling a sense of lightness she hadn't felt in years. She thought, maybe I can find a new rhythm here. But then, slowly, things started to change. It began with small, harmless requests. "Mom, could you help tidy up the living room?" Her daughter-in-law asked one day, almost apologetically. Mary nodded, not minding the extra task. After all, she wanted to be helpful. But as weeks turned into months, those small requests piled up. Before long, Mary found herself cooking every meal, washing loads of laundry, cleaning the entire house, and taking care of the grandchildren. "It's just a little help," they'd say. But it was never just a little. Mary started feeling like a stranger in her son's home, a servant in a house that was supposed to be her refuge. Her once carefree walks and social visits dwindled to nothing. She was up early to prepare breakfast, cleaning up dishes as she watched her son and daughter-in-law rush out the door for work. And then came the afternoons, filled with laundry, vacuuming, and picking up after the children. By evening, exhaustion draped over her like a heavy blanket. She would sit at the dining table, her hands aching, staring blankly at the plate in front of her, wondering how she ended up living this way. One evening, as she scrubbed the kitchen floor, she overheard her son and daughter-in-law planning a 4-day vacation. "We could really use a break," her son said. "Mom can watch the kids while we're gone." The casualness of it stung. Mary felt a knot tighten in her chest. They hadn't even asked if she was okay with it. They just assumed. A wave of anger and sadness crashed over her. It was as if they had forgotten she had her own life, her own dreams. Mary thought back to the life she had imagined for herself. When she retired, she had dreamed of dancing in the park with the other elderly women, adopting a small dog to keep her company, growing a garden filled with her favorite flowers, and spending afternoons chatting with friends over tea. All those dreams now felt like distant, almost impossible fantasies. She had become a full-time caretaker, not by choice, but by expectation. "Is this really how I want to spend the rest of my days?" she asked herself, the silence of the empty kitchen echoing back at her. After several sleepless nights, Mary knew she had to make a change. The decision was not easy. Her heart ached at the thought of disappointing her son. But deep down, she understood that living for others at the cost of her own happiness was not what she wanted. One morning, she gathered the courage to speak up. "I'm going to visit an old friend for a few days," she announced at breakfast, her voice firm. Her son looked up, confusion flickering in his eyes. "You'll be back soon, right?" he asked, almost nervously. "We'll see," Mary replied, her tone calm but resolute. Her daughter-in-law's face tightened, and she accused Mary of abandoning them. But Mary stood her ground. For too long, she had put everyone else's needs above her own. It was time to reclaim her life. Packing her bags that day felt surreal. With each item she placed in her suitcase, a weight seemed to lift off her shoulders. She left her son's home and returned to her quaint little house, the one she had left behind. As she unlocked the front door and stepped inside, a sense of peace washed over her. It felt like she was coming home, not just to a place, but to herself. Mary didn't look back. She threw herself into living the retirement she had once dreamed of. She adopted a small, fluffy dog who greeted her every morning with wagging tail and boundless joy. She joined the women's dance group in the park, twirling and laughing under the open sky, feeling the years of burden slip away. She spent afternoons in her garden, the scent of fresh flowers filling the air, reconnecting with old friends over cups of tea and heartfelt conversations. Her story spread through the neighborhood, inspiring older adults who had been silently battling the same predicament. Mary's journey was not just about stepping away from a life of unpaid labor. It was about stepping into a life filled with purpose, joy, and self-respect. She defied the traditional belief that parents should serve their children endlessly, choosing instead to prioritize her own well-being. Now, Mary lives each day with a renewed sense of freedom. She walks through the market with a spring in her step, picks fresh vegetables for her garden, and watches the sunset from her porch, wrapped in a blanket of contentment. She chose herself, and in doing so, she found the happiness that had been missing for far too long. Her story is a powerful reminder to all of us. It is never too late to reclaim your own life. It's a call for older adults to stand firm in their right to live independently, to pursue dreams they've put on hold, and to refuse the burdens of unappreciated sacrifice. In a world that often expects aging parents to serve endlessly, Mary's tale is a bold declaration that self-respect, joy, and personal fulfillment are not just for the young, they are for everyone, at every stage of life. So if you find yourself struggling in the twilight years, remember Mary's courage. You deserve to live freely, unapologetically, and joyfully. Life is too precious to spend in the shadows of others' expectations. Okay, now, you want to know how to unlock happiness in old age? You're in the right place. You see, aging can be a beautiful chapter of life if we approach it with the right mindset and habits. We often underestimate the power of small changes and the profound impact they can have on our daily well-being. Let's talk about a simple yet transformative practice: participating in community classes or clubs. This isn't just about filling time, it's about enriching our lives in ways we might not expect. Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose. When we join a community class, like a painting group or a yoga session, we introduce routine and excitement into our lives. It's no longer just another day, it's a day with meaning. Anticipating these activities gives us something to look forward to, a spark that fights off feelings of loneliness and boredom. This sense of routine isn't just a way to pass the time, it's a powerful tool for keeping our minds engaged and our hearts full. Just think about the social aspect. When we participate in these classes or clubs, we're not just learning or staying active, we're building connections. Meeting people with similar interests can lead to friendships that make life feel less isolated. We start to create a support network, a circle of people who share our joys and understand our challenges. Engaging in conversations, sharing experiences, and simply being around others can boost our mood in ways that solitude cannot. It's like a breath of fresh air, reminding us that we're not alone in our journey. Keeping the mind sharp. When we learn new skills or engage in activities that challenge our thinking, like discussing a book or learning a craft, we're exercising our brains. It's like giving our minds a workout, which is crucial for maintaining cognitive functions as we age. Studies have shown that mental stimulation can delay the onset of age-related cognitive decline. So, when we sign up for a new class or join a discussion group, we're not just having fun, we're investing in our long-term mental health. Do not overlook the physical benefits. Many community activities, like dancing or yoga, involve movement, which is essential for maintaining mobility, balance, and strength. Regular physical activity can help reduce the risk of falls and other health issues, giving us the confidence to stay active and independent. Plus, let's be honest, these activities are fun. The joy of moving, laughing, and sharing moments with others adds to our overall happiness, lifting our spirits and reminding us that aging can be filled with vitality and joy. The second lesson we want to share with you is about the life-changing power of volunteering and community involvement, particularly as we get older. Picture this: life often slows down as we age, and sometimes loneliness sneaks in when we least expect it. But what if we told you that stepping out into the community could breathe new life into our days? By choosing to volunteer, we're not only contributing to the well-being of others, but we're also opening up a door to a world of new experiences, connections, and a renewed sense of purpose. Engaging in these activities draws us into a network of like-minded individuals, giving us the opportunity to meet new faces, build friendships, and become part of a support system that fills our lives with warmth and belonging. It's this sense of community that becomes a beacon, guiding us away from the shadows of isolation and lighting up our hearts with the joy of shared moments. The impact of this on our self-worth. As we grow older, there can be a nagging feeling that our days of contributing to society have passed us by. But nothing could be further from the truth. When we get involved in volunteering, whether it's mentoring the youth, serving at a local food pantry, or even helping with community cleanups, we start to see firsthand the fruits of our efforts. This isn't just about feeling useful, it's about witnessing the changes we can still inspire around us. The confidence that builds within us as we recognize our own value is priceless. It's like a spark that ignites our spirit, reminding us that we're still capable of making meaningful contributions. Each act of kindness we offer becomes a mirror reflecting our strength, generosity, and the unique gifts we continue to bring into the world. How volunteering becomes a workout for our minds. Life after retirement often lacks the mental stimulation that kept us on our toes, but volunteering can fill that gap beautifully. When we engage in these activities, our minds are constantly stimulated by new challenges, problem-solving opportunities, and interactions with people from all walks of life. It's like giving our brains a refreshing wake-up call, urging them to stay sharp and curious. This mental engagement is crucial, as it not only helps maintain cognitive health, but also nurtures a deeper understanding of the world around us. It keeps us adaptable, interested, and always learning, which is key to staying mentally fit as we age. We should also look at the physical aspect of volunteering. Many community projects naturally involve a level of physical activity, whether it's gardening, setting up for events, or simply being on our feet during charity walks. These activities sneak a bit of exercise into our routine, keeping us active without it feeling like a chore. And let's be honest, it's much easier to stay physically engaged when we're doing something that feels meaningful. By committing to these tasks, we not only support our community, but also take steps toward improving our own physical health. This helps maintain a sense of vitality, allowing us to move through life with more energy and zest. A profound emotional uplift that comes from helping others. When we extend our hands in kindness, something magical happens. A wave of positivity washes over us. It's a kind of joy that is hard to find elsewhere. A joy that grows as we see the smiles we bring to others' faces. The stress we might carry begins to fade, replaced by a lightness that fills our hearts. By focusing on the needs of others, we momentarily step away from our own worries, gaining a new perspective on life. This is where the real magic of volunteering lies, in the realization that by lifting others, we are in fact lifting ourselves. We cultivate a more positive outlook, creating a cycle of giving and receiving that fills our lives with deep contentment and a sense of purpose that no other activity can quite match. So when we give our time and effort to the community, we're truly gifting ourselves with the treasures of joy, health, and a renewed sense of belonging. The next one, and maybe many old people already know about it, it's the joy of gardening. Now, let's not underestimate the power of this simple activity. Gardening isn't just about planting seeds or pulling weeds. It's much deeper than that. It's a way for us to stay active, find peace, and connect with the world around us. When we spend time in the garden, we're not just growing plants. We're nurturing a sense of fulfillment and happiness that can significantly enrich our lives, especially as we get older. So let's explore how this seemingly small hobby can impact our physical, mental, and emotional well-being in ways we might not have considered before. Let's start with the physical side of things. Many people think gardening is just about sitting in the dirt, but it's actually quite a workout. The movements involved in digging, planting, weeding, and watering can keep our bodies engaged without feeling like exercise. And that's the beauty of it. We bend, stretch, squat, and reach while caring for the plants, which helps us maintain our strength, flexibility, and coordination. Even something as simple as pushing a wheelbarrow or carrying a watering can provides resistance training for our muscles. This kind of gentle, low-impact activity is excellent for keeping our bodies in shape, especially when high-intensity workouts aren't as appealing or practical anymore. Another benefit that often gets overlooked: the sunlight. When we're out in the garden, we expose ourselves to natural sunlight, which is our body's main source of vitamin D. Now, we know vitamin D is crucial for keeping our bones healthy, particularly as we age. Spending time outside, even if it's just for a little while each day, can significantly boost our vitamin D levels. This natural way of getting the vitamin not only supports bone health, but also has been linked to improved mood and energy levels. So while we're busy planting or pruning, we're also soaking in some vital nutrients from the sun. Mentally, gardening can work wonders for our brains. Think about the planning involved: deciding what to plant, figuring out where each plant will grow best, and remembering their individual care needs. This kind of mental engagement keeps our minds active and sharp. It's like a daily puzzle that challenges us to think and remember. Plus, solving problems in the garden, whether it's dealing with pests or finding the right amount of water, keeps our cognitive functions on their toes. We're continuously learning, adapting, and finding solutions, which strengthens our memory and overall brain health. Don't not forget the sense of accomplishment we feel when we see the results of our efforts. Watching a seed grow into a plant, bloom into a flower, or bear fruit fills us with pride. That feeling of success, however small it might seem, boosts our self-esteem and provides a sense of purpose. It reminds us that we can still create, nurture, and see the fruits of our labor. Quite literally. For many older adults, this sense of purpose can be a crucial element of a fulfilling life, helping us to wake up every day with something meaningful to look forward to. We must touch on the emotional aspect of gardening. There's something almost magical about nurturing a living thing and watching it flourish. It's incredibly satisfying to care for plants, to water them, feed them, and see them grow strong. This nurturing process can calm our minds and reduce stress. The repetitive actions of planting, watering, and tending to the garden create a rhythm that can be quite meditative. When we're focused on these simple, soothing tasks, our worries and anxieties start to fade away, leaving us with a sense of peace and relaxation. And speaking of peace, there's something uniquely comforting about being surrounded by greenery and flowers. Studies have shown that being close to nature can lower anxiety levels and improve our overall mood. Just imagine standing in a garden filled with blooming flowers, feeling the breeze on your skin, and listening to the rustling of leaves. It's a moment of tranquility that allows us to step away from the hustle and bustle of daily life and reconnect with something timeless and simple. But there's more. Gardening isn't just a solitary activity. It can also be a wonderful social experience. Joining a community garden, swapping gardening tips with neighbors, or even inviting a friend to help with planting can lead to new friendships and strengthen social bonds. This social aspect is particularly valuable as we age because it helps prevent feelings of loneliness and isolation. Sharing stories about our garden's successes and failures can create a sense of camaraderie and belonging, enriching our lives with meaningful interactions. The beauty of gardening is that it gives us a sense of control. In our little patch of land, we make the decisions. We choose what to plant, how to arrange our garden, and how to care for each plant. This sense of agency can be incredibly empowering, especially as we grow older, and might feel that some aspects of life are slipping out of our control. The garden becomes our sanctuary, a place where we can shape the environment to our liking and find comfort in the routines we establish. 4. How do we keep that flame of curiosity alive as we grow older? What really matters when it comes to our happiness in our later years? This is an important question. And if we dig deep, we'll find that the answer lies in how we embrace the habit of lifelong learning. Staying curious and consistently feeding our minds with new knowledge isn't just an abstract concept. It's the secret to keeping our minds sharp, our spirits high, and our sense of independence intact. So, let's talk about how we can make learning a part of our everyday life in a way that's both rewarding and uplifting. First, let's talk about curiosity itself. Think of it as that spark inside us, the one that makes us wonder, explore, and seek answers. When we were kids, this spark was always glowing. Everything was new, and the joy of discovery was constant. But as we get older, daily routines and responsibilities can dim that spark if we let them. The trick is to consciously nurture that sense of wonder. Whether it's learning how to use a new gadget or understanding a new topic, this effort keeps our minds active. It's not just about keeping busy. It's about stimulating our intellect and reminding ourselves that there's always more to learn, no matter our age. Now, why does keeping our minds active matter so much? Because a mind that is regularly challenged stays adaptable and resilient. It's like exercise for our brain. When we push ourselves to grasp new concepts or skills, we create mental pathways that keep us alert and capable. In a world that changes rapidly, staying up to date with new tools and information isn't just a nice to have. It's crucial for our independence. Have you ever experienced the satisfaction of mastering a new phone or learning to navigate a new app? These moments boost our self-assurance, showing us that we're not being left behind. We're actively keeping up. The practicality of learning new things extends far beyond just using technology, though. It's about making our lives easier and more convenient. Let's face it, tasks like paying bills, managing appointments, or even keeping in touch with friends have all shifted online. By learning how to navigate these tools, we save time, reduce stress, and stay in control of our daily lives. This sense of control is empowering. We don't need to become tech experts, but by learning enough to handle what we need, we maintain our autonomy and can handle modern challenges with confidence. And it's not just about practicality. It's about the joy of learning for its own sake. Taking on new hobbies, like picking up a musical instrument, starting a gardening project, or joining a book club, introduces us to fresh experiences and new social circles. When we learn something new, we challenge our minds, which gives us a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Plus, these activities are often done in groups, connecting us with others and building a support network that enhances our emotional well-being. This interaction is vital because it combats loneliness, keeping our spirits high and our social lives rich. When we think about learning, it's not just about acquiring information, it's about how it makes us feel. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from solving a problem, mastering a new skill, or understanding a complex topic. This sense of achievement fills us with pride and reinforces our belief that we can still grow and adapt. It's an ongoing reminder that age doesn't define our capabilities, our mindset does. Each new skill we learn becomes a part of our identity, a testament to our willingness to keep evolving. There's also an element of excitement in trying new things. Yes, learning can be challenging, and sometimes we might feel out of our comfort zones. But that's where growth happens. Have you ever felt a thrill when you've tackled something unfamiliar and come out successful on the other side? That's not just a fleeting feeling. It's a powerful affirmation of our ability to adapt and overcome. When we confront the unknown, we expand our horizons and remind ourselves that we're capable of so much more than we often give ourselves credit for. Staying curious also means engaging with the world around us. It's about looking at the evolving trends, technology, and even cultural changes, and choosing to learn from them rather than resisting them. When we open ourselves up to new experiences and perspectives, we enrich our own understanding and keep our minds from becoming rigid. Have you ever listened to someone from a younger generation talk about their interests and felt a spark of curiosity? That's the beauty of lifelong learning. It keeps us connected to others and helps bridge the gaps between generations. We also need to talk about how learning puts us in the driver's seat of our lives. When we choose to explore new things, we take an active role in shaping our experiences. We're not just letting life happen to us. We're engaging with it, molding it to fit our evolving interests and needs. This proactive approach fosters a sense of agency and control, reminding us that we have the power to influence our journey. Every new skill, every piece of knowledge we acquire, becomes a tool that we can use to build the life we want. Of course, there will be challenges along the way. We might struggle with new technology, feel overwhelmed by a new concept, or even face setbacks. But this is where our mindset makes all the difference. When we approach learning with patience and self-kindness, we turn these challenges into opportunities for growth. We remind ourselves that perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Each small step forward, each attempt we make, adds to our sense of accomplishment and keeps our spirits high. So, where do we begin on this journey of lifelong learning? It starts with our interests and curiosity. What have we always wanted to explore but never found the time for? Is there a hobby, a skill, or a topic that sparks joy in us? By starting small and focusing on things that genuinely interest us, we make the process enjoyable and less daunting. We don't need to overwhelm ourselves. It's about taking one step at a time, savoring each new piece of knowledge we gain. Staying curious and embracing lifelong learning also makes life feel fuller. When we actively seek out new experiences and knowledge, we keep our minds engaged and our hearts open. It's about creating a life filled with variety and depth, where each day has the potential to bring something new. We become more than just passive spectators of life. We become active participants, shaping our days with purpose and intention. Taking care of your mental health, travel, and exploration. These might sound like simple concepts, but they hold profound significance, especially as we grow older. We often hear people talking about physical health, but what about our mental well-being? Let's take a closer look at how these practices can bring a sense of peace, joy, and purpose into our lives. Picture this: waking up each day with a sense of calm and readiness to embrace whatever comes your way. Sounds beautiful, right? That's what mental health care can offer us, and it's not as complicated as it may seem. When we talk about mental health, it's about finding a balance within ourselves, cultivating habits that bring serenity. Activities like meditation and yoga are more than just buzzwords. They're gateways to a life of less stress and more joy. Think of meditation as giving your mind a moment to breathe. We're always running around, filling our days with tasks and worries. But what if, for just a few minutes, we could stop? Sitting quietly, focusing on our breath, or repeating a simple word, we create a space where anxiety loses its grip. It's like clearing a fog that blurs our thoughts. Even those few moments of calm can make us better equipped to face life's challenges. Now, let's talk about yoga. Many of us hear the word and imagine complex poses that seem out of reach. But yoga isn't about perfection. It's about connecting our bodies with our breath. There are poses for every ability, and they can be modified to suit our needs, especially as we age. Imagine gently stretching, breathing deeply, feeling your muscles wake up and release tension. That's yoga. It strengthens our body, improves flexibility, and importantly, it calms the mind. With each deep breath, we let go of the stress that weighs us down. And over time, this practice leads to better sleep, less pain, and a more positive outlook on life. Let's not overlook the power of talking. Sometimes our minds feel heavy with thoughts and emotions we can't seem to sort through on our own. That's where support groups or therapists come into play. Imagine sitting in a room with people who truly understand your experiences. When we share what's on our minds in these safe spaces, we feel less alone. We hear stories similar to ours and realize that others are walking this path too. It's a comforting reminder that we're all in this together. Staying engaged is another key to mental health. We might think that activities like reading or solving puzzles are just pastimes, but they're much more. These simple activities stimulate our minds, keeping us sharp and connected. And when we reach out to friends or family, we nourish our social needs. It's like watering a plant. These connections help us thrive, reminding us that we're valued and loved. Now, let's shift gears to something equally enriching: travel and exploration. Have you ever thought about how traveling can breathe new life into your retirement years? Close your eyes and picture the excitement of stepping into a new place, meeting new people, and experiencing cultures different from your own. Travel isn't just about seeing new sights, it's about breaking the routine, challenging our senses, and filling our lives with stories that we'll treasure forever. Travel keeps us active in ways that hardly feel like exercise. Think about strolling through the narrow streets of a historic city, the kind where every corner tells a story. Or imagine hiking through nature, surrounded by the sound of birds and the rustling leaves. These moments don't just keep our bodies moving, they remind us of the beauty that still exists around us, waiting to be discovered. Movement becomes a joy, not a chore, and that's a powerful way to maintain our physical health. There's also something magical about how travel stimulates the mind. When we visit new places, we encounter languages, foods, traditions, and histories that are different from what we're used to. It's like giving our brain a workout, filling it with new information and perspectives. And this mental stimulation is vital for keeping our minds active and sharp as we age. We learn, we grow, and our world becomes a little bigger each time we explore. Travel also has a remarkable way of bringing us closer to others. Whether we're on a journey with family, friends, or joining a group tour, travel fosters deep connections. Picture sitting with others, sharing stories, laughing over a meal, or discovering a new place together. These experiences strengthen our bonds and create new friendships. In a world that often feels divided, travel reminds us that we're all connected, sharing the same human experience. How travel enhances our emotional well-being. There's something incredibly freeing about stepping out of our daily routine and into a world of adventure. We leave behind the usual stresses, and as we explore, our mood lifts. We feel a sense of excitement, like the thrill of seeing something for the first time. It's these moments of joy that add layers of richness to our lives, reminding us that adventure isn't just for the young, it's for the young at heart. So, when we talk about taking care of our mental health, we're not just talking about avoiding problems. We're talking about creating a life filled with peace, joy, and meaning. Meditation, yoga, sharing our feelings, staying engaged, and traveling are all parts of this journey. They're tools we can use to build a life that we love, one that makes us wake up each day with gratitude and excitement. And as we age, these practices become even more precious. They help us navigate the changes that come with time, giving us the strength to live each moment fully. Our mental health is our most valuable asset. It's what allows us to truly enjoy our lives, connect with others, and find joy in both the simple and extraordinary moments. Taking care of it doesn't have to be complicated. It's about making small choices every day that add up to a life of well-being. Let's embrace these practices, explore new horizons, and cultivate a mindset that says, no matter our age, there's always something beautiful to discover, both within ourselves and in the world around us. If you're considering this path, remember that many have walked it before and found it to be a deeply rewarding journey. You are not alone in contemplating this change. Taking the leap could be the key to unlocking one of the most meaningful and enriching chapters of your life. And if you're already living this experience, we invite you to share your thoughts and stories in the comments. Your insights could inspire others who are on the fence. Before we wrap up, if this discussion resonated with you, consider liking and subscribing to stay connected with more content that speaks to these life choices. Thank you for being with us today, and see you in the next video.